Welcome to the Asian Idols channel. I'm Cherry. Today, our video features the following exciting content. What do you think
Zhang
about this
Ruonan
topic?
stuns in a red and white Hanfu dress, exuding ethereal elegance by the Waterside Pavilion. She held the feather gently between her fingers, her movements slow and composed, as if she were in quiet dialogue with some ancient, far-off realm. The softness in her eyes, paired with her focused expression, created a moment so serene that one would hesitate to even breathe, afraid to disturb the stillness. Her long, smooth hair fell over her shoulders like a cascading waterfall, catching the light with a soft sheen and outlining the graceful curve shaped by classical aesthetics. When she turned slightly, the camera captured the delicate contours of her profile. Her sculpted nose bridge and finely shaped lips appeared even more poetic under the gentle glow. She paused in front of an aged scroll painting, her gaze lingering with a faint upward curve of her lips, as though she had been quietly moved by the world within the artwork. The subtle expression brought life to the frame, making it feel as though a character from centuries past was awakening through her presence. The rustic texture of the painting contrasted with her living, breathing expression, forming a scene rich with history and cinematic tension. At that moment, the visual language intensified. The flickering candlelight beside her traced the outline of her face, adding a layered, film-like quality to the scene. The softness of the feather, the drifting strands of hair, and the flowing lines of her garments were all captured with precise detail. The interplay between traditional motifs and modern cinematography gave the entire setting a unique aura. She seemed both a figure emerging from an ancient scroll and a contemporary actress embodying the soul of tradition. This styling not only highlighted her personal elegance, but also blended the stillness of classical beauty with the clarity and vitality of modern visual storytelling. There was no exaggerated dramatization, no unnecessary affectation, only a quiet, natural flow of emotions from her eyes to her breath. Because of this, every movement she made seemed to narrate an unspoken story, gentle yet powerful, stirring a deep sense of cultural resonance in the viewer. From the lightness of her steps to the subtle swaying of the feather in her hand, and from the shifting expressions shaped by candlelight to the soft motion of her hair, the entire sequence conveyed far more than visual appeal. It felt like a cultural revival. The camera placed her against a layered, atmospheric background, ink wash blur, weathered artwork, warm candlelight, together forming a dynamic scroll of imagery. In this scroll, she stood as both the central figure and the storyteller. It is worth noting that this visual style goes beyond traditional ancient style photography. It aligns with a rising aesthetic among young audiences, what might be called a new classicism, reinterpreting traditional symbols with lightness, subtlety, and emotional authenticity. Such an approach makes classical culture feel less heavy and more intimately connected to contemporary expression. Zhang Ruonan's natural, quiet, and luminous presence fits this aesthetic perfectly. Her restrained expressions and soft demeanor give ancient imagery a believable emotional core. As the shoot progressed, her eyes shifted from gentle curiosity to a deeper, story-laden immersion. It felt as though she were tracing the remnants of forgotten history or breathing life into a character's hidden fate. As the camera moved closer, even the smallest changes in her breathing and expression became visible, lending the scene a sense of rawness and warmth. In the end, the sequence formed a narrative-rich visual fragment, traditional aesthetics revived through her performance, ancient stillness illuminated by modern storytelling techniques, and she herself becoming the essential bridge between the two. Whether through her subtle expressions, flowing movements, or quiet interaction with the environment, she conveyed a beauty that felt suspended between time and space. In the fast-paced digital era, imagery that balances elegance and emotional depth has become increasingly rare. This series not only showcases Zhang Ruonan's personal charm, but also reflects a contemporary understanding of classical beauty, preserving the softness and restraint of tradition while embracing the lightness and clarity sought by the younger generation. It transforms tradition from a distant, untouchable symbol into something that can be felt, approached, and reimagined, a living source of cultural warmth.
If this is your first time watching our channel, please hit the subscribe button to support us. Thank you.